I am not invested. I am 100% cash because this move right here, I'm a little bit anxious about. They like to call the wall of worry as prices are going up. Move over S&P 500. We just rolled into S&P 5000 for the first time ever. Microsoft topples Apple as world's largest company. Microsoft is on pace to be the first US company to close with a market cap above $3.1 trillion. I don't know if you remember, a couple years ago, I was actually one of those. So I'm like the world's biggest finance nerd. A few years ago, I actually remember watching as Apple, the stock price was moving around up and down. And I was actually following it tick by tick, like, wow, Apple just crossed $1 trillion. How interesting is that? It made no difference to me in my life. I also was watching it on the day when Dow crossed 30,000. What's the Dow at these days? I don't even remember. Probably way more than that. Let's take a look here. The Dow is at 38,000. Yeah, I remember being one of those nerds watching as the Dow ticked over 30,000. And now what we see today is the S&P is crossed over 5,000. And good morning, Rab Beat from vacation in the Philippines. Glad you could make it. Glad you could watch live. Yeah, so let's take a look here. The S&P 500 has never been higher, closing above the 5,000 level for the first time ever, as improving corporate earnings and better than expected economic data fuel investor optimism. I kind of am a little bit worried about that. In fact, if you think about it, right, inflation has been striking everywhere. I think inflation is striking asset prices. I think inflation is actually coming to the stock market at this point. I don't know if that is a good thing or bad thing, but I am not invested. I am 100% cash because this move right here, I'm a little bit anxious about what they like to call the wall of worry as prices are going up. Yeah, this guy is sitting on the sideline in cash. I'm waiting for a pullback before I start getting too long. And good morning, Watch Channel DE. Glad to see you. Let's keep on going here. However, strategists caution the upward move is heavily tied to just a handful of companies. And that's actually the reason why I am not invested in the market right now. In fact, let me pull up a stat for you real quick. This is a stat that I like to follow closely. This is called the MMFI. This is the percent of stocks above their own 50-day moving average. So this is the market breadth. And as you can see, it's actually been trending downward over the last several weeks, which means that as the market's cruising higher, the number of stocks helping that market cruise higher is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. So it does give me a little bit of pause, and that is why I've been sitting on the sidelines, right? Technology is really important, as you know, like at Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia. They make up 18% of the S&P 500, and the total is about 30%. And that's actually more today than it was in the peak 2000s when we had that tech bubble burst. And we're going to be covering Microsoft, the S&P 500, and Nvidia and Apple. In fact, let me go ahead while we're talking here and load up Nvidia, because the AI trading data results for these have been just astronomical. To the point here, Microsoft displaced Apple as the world's largest company as its market cap moved above $3 trillion on Friday. And that compares to the iPhone maker's $2.9 trillion. You know, they make a lot more than iPhones. In fact, I remember hearing a stat not all that long ago that the AirPods, just the AirPods on its own, is a huge business. I don't know the stats off the top of my head. I should have looked that up ahead of time. But just the AirPods business is bigger than many businesses. Just the Apple Watch business is bigger than many businesses. And in fact, I would venture to say that the new Apple Vision Pro that everybody's all excited about, I would venture to say that that's probably going to be bigger just on the sales of the Apple Vision Pro, bigger than many businesses. Tell me in the comments down below, do you have an Apple Vision Pro, or are you looking to get one of those anytime soon? I am not. I do have a Meta Quest 2, and it's pretty cool, but I might use it once every 3 months. However, the products I've seen, or the reviews I've seen online for the new Apple headset are pretty cool. So we'll see. We've moved from talking about AI, applying to AI at scale by infusing AI across every layer of our stock. That's from this Microsoft CEO, Nadella. We've moved from talking about AI to applying AI to infusing AI, right? He just loves throwing the AI buzzword around. I don't blame him, right? Rabbit says he's an Apple addict. Rabbit, did you get the headset yet? Did you? Communication, technology, and consumer discretionary stocks are the top performing S&P sectors over the last 3 months, rising 17, 16, and 10% respectively. And let's see. Rabbit says, I'll wait for the vision. He'll wait. I don't blame him. You know, somebody said in one of the tech reviews I saw, said, this is the absolute worst Apple Vision Pro that will ever be released. Everyone from this point is going to be better. I was like, yeah, that's a fair point there. You know what else is a fair point? Making sure you hit the subscribe button down below. That way you don't miss any of the AI stock trading tips that we bring to you every single day. Considering that the past 12 months, only 3 sectors have outperformed the S&P 500. That's information technology, consumer communication services, and consumer discretionary. So information technology, that's your tech stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia. Communication services, that's things like AT&T, T-Mobile, and even Netflix is actually included in communication. And then consumer discretionary, that's Amazon is at the top of that. The first 2 have dramatically outperformed the index, and we consider these sectors to be overvalued and favor investors trimming exposures down to our suggested neutral allocation to tech and communication and unfavorable allocation to consumer discretionary. Tripping over my tongue there. And then the page reloads. So basically what they're saying is, yeah, the S&P just hit 5,000, which is pretty daggum epic. But that is not the case to just get all excited, go out and buy a hot dog right before the Super Bowl, right? That is quite a piece of caution coming out from this investing house here. Now let's take a look at what the AI trading data has to say about these stocks, right? We're going to be covering several here because they were covered in the article. Microsoft, right? 165.34% following these signals from Outlier. In fact, the last buy and sell signal from January 16th to February 7th. So we have a buy signal here. So this may actually be the top of Microsoft. So you may be wanting to watch that. Next, Nvidia. Holy moly. Got a buy signal back on January 9th, and it's been out of control since then. Signal returns of 1,471.28%. Just unreal signal returns right there. Let's go to Apple, then we'll end to S&P 500. And then Apple, January 24th, we got a buy signal there, 334.71%. And then the S&P 500, we got a buy signal January 25th. It's been rocking strong. Signal returns of 114.83%. And then if you want to look at the map of the S&P 500, you can actually see, like, this is the year-to-date map where everything is pulling through. Apple has not been all that successful. It's actually down 1.91% this year, where Nvidia is up 45%, and our hero of the day, Microsoft, up 12% on the year. And like I say, all of these stocks right here are showing to be tremendous returns, historically speaking, inside of Outlier. And if you want to get your hands on all of these tremendous returns, head over to outlierdeal.com. That's OVTLYR deal.com to get lifetime access to Outlier for one itsy bitsy tiny payment. And this will be going away in just a couple of weeks. So you might want to take advantage of that while you can. Let's go see what the internet says about this, right? Breaking, the S&P 500 has officially hit 5,000 for the first time in history. Since the October 27th low, it's up about 900 points. That means the S&P has added $8.5 trillion in market cap in just 3 months. Truly a historic run for stocks. And let's see what people are saying about this, right? Correction, truly historic run for the S&P 5. Yeah, this person says good point, right? This is an ad. Thank you. Me trying to find the value added. Is this the S&P 5000 now? Yeah. How long till we start calling S&P 500 the S&P 5000? That's exactly what I'm saying. Impending sell-off, courtesy of one Mr. Jerome Powell. So be sure to hit one of these 2 videos above. YouTube, the algorithm knows that you're going to like those, and be sure to watch more. And thank you so much for tuning in today's Outlier Live. I'll see you on the next episode. Talk soon.